A supposedly revolutionary AI employee captured 270,000 GitHub stars in record time, only to trigger a massive, panicked wave of uninstalls exactly 5 days later. What you're looking at is the spectacular boom and bust of a digital worker that hit a graveyard of catastrophic flaws and massive hidden costs right beneath the hype. 270,000. By mid-March of 2026, that mind-boggling number made OpenClaw the absolute #1 open-source project on the planet. I mean, developers and everyday users alike were practically falling over themselves to deploy what they honestly believed was the ultimate autonomous AI worker. So why the mass exodus? Why did this enormous user base suddenly just jump ship a mere 5 days later? Well, to figure out how this went from a viral phenomenon to a digital ghost town so quickly, we have to look right past the slick marketing. We need to examine the sheer operational nightmare these users actually woke up to. And that illusion, it shattered first at the wallet. Imagine lacking deep technical skills and paying up to $140 just to have someone install a quote-unquote free open source tool for you. And it gets worse. Once it was actually running, those API tokens burned through about $7 a day for just the basic stuff, skyrocketing into the thousands for complex tasks. But here is the ultimate irony. When it inevitably crashed and burned, the removal process was so insanely convoluted that users were actually paying professional services up to $42 just to safely uninstall it. Actually, there's a viral quote from the Chinese tech community that hits the nail right on the head. A $2,800 a month salary can't feed a shrimp. In this context, feeding a shrimp became the wildly popular slang for just trying to run the OpenClaw system. Basically, even with a massive budget of almost $3,000 a month, this AI's relentless, inefficient token burning would literally bankrupt you way before it ever finished your actual work. But hey, it wasn't just your wallet taking a hit. It was an absolute security nightmare. Because the setup was incredibly complex, a staggering 18,000 OpenCloud instances were left completely exposed to the public internet thanks to default configurations. And no, it doesn't stop there. 15% of the community-built skills actually contained malicious instructions or straight-up malware. We're talking severe prompt injection vulnerabilities and terrifyingly rogue AI agents that were just independently deleting security researchers' private emails without any permission whatsoever. So instead of kicking back while a slick, autonomous agent handled your entire business, the reality looked a lot more like a totally exhausted stick figure. Users were completely reduced to babysitting a looping terminal screen for hours on end. The AI would just get stuck in these infinite command loops, which forced you to constantly tweak your prompts just to get it to do the bare minimum. You definitely weren't saving time. You had essentially taken on a full-time babysitting job. To really grasp the market's rapid, almost desperate pivot away from this nightmare, I want you to imagine OpenClaw as an empty office building. Sure, it's a space, but you have to rent it, buy the desks, wire the internet yourself, and even hire your own security. Now, contrast that with a modern co-working space, right? You just walk in, sit down, and boom, you instantly start working. Well, Anthropic's new managed agent is exactly that fully stocked co-working space. It's a cloud-based, pre-configured AI infrastructure. The provider steps in and entirely handles the security, the servers, and the environment. It completely wipes out the need for you to set up a self-hosted virtual private server and deals with all of that frustrating technical overhead for you. And this data brilliantly illustrates exactly why Anthropic swooped in when they did. Look at this token usage. OpenClaw was consuming a massive 751 billion tokens right on Anthropic's network. It was sitting right on the heels of Anthropic's own Claude code, which was at 884 billion. Basically, OpenClaw was effectively doing free, massive scale market research, stress testing exactly what users wanted in a 24/7 autonomous agent entirely on Anthropic's dime. Obviously, Anthropic saw this data, and they executed a totally meticulous strategic takeover. Let's break down the timeline. First, in February 2026, the OpenClaw creator jumped ship to rival OpenAI. Then, by March, Anthropic releases cross-device apps and Telegram channels, which gave users that remote mobile access they absolutely loved about OpenClaw. Following that in April, they launched their managed agents and just completely banned OpenClaw from their ecosystem. The endgame here? To brilliantly lock down their user base and secure steady, massive subscription revenue right in time for their projected $60 billion IPO in October. But at the end of the day, as a user, you still have to make a choice on how you run your specific workflows. When you stack Claude Cowork up against OpenClaw hosted on a virtual private server, there is a very distinct trade-off. See, Claude Cowork gives you a highly secure, desktop-based local environment, but it totally fails at scheduled autonomous tasks the second your computer goes to sleep. OpenClaw on a remote server, on the other hand, runs relentlessly, 24/7. So what if you still demand that true round-the-clock autonomy, but you absolutely refuse to accept the terrifying security risks we just covered? Well, the solution to that is NanoClaw. NanoClaw is essentially a highly secure wrapper. It isolates OpenClaw's 500,000 lines of code tightly inside a Docker container. This safely quarantines the open source code entirely away from your personal sensitive files. And the best part? For a complete novice, executing this is radically simple. It's just 3 steps. Step 1, you install Docker Desktop. Step 2, you enable the Windows subsystem for Linux. And step 3, you simply run NanoClaw inside that isolated container. If the AI breaks or you just want out, you don't have to go pay some guy $42 to uninstall it. You literally just click delete on the container and it vanishes flawlessly without ever touching your actual system. Alternatively, if you prioritize the absolute, rock-solid stability of Anthropic's ecosystem, you can deploy Claude Code channels to get that exact same 24/7 remote feel. You can actually connect Claude Code directly to your Telegram in 3 really simple steps. First, create a new bot via BotFather on Telegram. Next, ensure the runtime environment known as Bun is active on your machine. Finally, just input your token into Claude Code. And just like that, you have an always-on, non-brittle remote assistant right there in your pocket. So I want to leave you with this absolutely critical question to evaluate your own systems. Are your current workflows truly autonomous, or are they just another full-time babysitting job? Before you rush out to install the very next viral AI tool, you really must ask yourself if you are building a genuinely secure, automated enterprise, or if you're just paying massive hidden costs to rent yet another empty office.
If you enjoy this video, please like, share, subscribe, and hit the bell to the latest update from my channel. Thank you for watching till the end, and see you in the next video.